All right, next game up on the list, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Houston Texans. And the Texans are favored by 6 points, and the over-under is 54.5. To this one, honestly, also seems a little high. A little high. They're killing my always bet the over. Life's too short to bet the under theory. I would bet the under here too, honestly. How are they? I mean, I see maybe a 24-21 game or something. That's 45. That's comfortably under. I don't know. I mean, maybe they switched. Yesterday, I was easily saying everything bet the over, but now, honestly, yeah, bet the under here with confidence. I think it'll be well under 54.5. And the Texans favored by 6. Man, that's tough to say that they're going to cover here, honestly. The Texans are a sad story. Like, Deshaun Watson is great, like a terrific quarterback, and they just don't have enough to support him. Will Fuller is great, though. I traded for him in a bold trade. I traded DJ Moore for Will Fuller, which, you may be laughing at him, but look who scored 25 last week and who scored a lot less. DJ Moore scored a lot less. Will Fuller scored the 25-plus points. That's what Will Fuller is capable of, these huge games, but he is kind of boom or bust. He'll have like 28 points, but then he'll have literally 2 points the next game. So I know that risk, but he's just the only receiver in Houston. Like, who else does Deshaun have to throw to besides Will Fuller, really? So I'm like, I don't know. DJ Moore, I like him, but I like Robbie Anderson in Carolina. He's getting the ball a lot. Now they're using Curtis Samuel a lot more. I mean, there's more mouths to feed. Mike Davis and McCaffrey will be back. I don't know. I just feel like there's more mouths to feed in Carolina. So I was feeling like Will Fuller, now that if he stays healthy, Will Fuller will have a big rest of the year because he's got a bunch of cupcake corner. I did that too. Researched. He's got a bunch of easy matchups with teams that have no secondaries coming up in the next 5-6 weeks in a row. No secondaries at all. No one to cover him. So he's going to have a lot of good weeks coming up. So, and that's what I think this will be. The Jaguars have no secondary, can't stop anyone through the air or the ground, really. So, yeah, I'm going to say this one is one of those games I wouldn't bet on. I'd be too nervous because I think the Jaguars could easily win this game, by some points, or the Texans could easily win this game by some points. I could see it going either way. For purposes, man, this is tough to say. I think the Jags might cover that. I think it might come down to a field goal or something, and I'm going to go with that. I'm going to say that the Jags are going to cover and might even win. I think it'll come down to a field goal that either the Texans to win the game or the Jags to win the game. I'm leaning towards the Jags winning this game, honestly. I don't know why. DJ Chark is back. I really like Chark, and it's not just because I have him on season-long fantasy. I think DJ Chark has another big game because he's clearly, when he was out, no one stepped up. Keelan Cole kind of, Chris Connolly didn't really step up. No one really stepped up, and it was clear that he is the number one receiver in Jacksonville, the best guy by far. DJ Chark is a beast, and it just showed how big he is, when he comes back last week and has a huge game immediately. So I think DJ Chark has another humongous game here. The Texans have no secondary at all either. They can't stop literally anyone. They couldn't stop me on a go route from scoring. So trust me, I got a 4.340 still to this day. I know I packed on a few, but try me. I used to run cross country, okay? I know I quit freshman year, but still, I ran at one point. So anyways, yeah, the Texans can't stop anybody, so that's my big play here. If you can in daily fantasy, or if you have him in season, it should be starting him anyways. But in daily fantasy, pick up DJ Chark for sure. I like DJ Chark a lot in this game, and he's going to have at least a 20-point game. He's going to score at least 1 or 2 and top 100 yards for sure. He's set in stone. They don't even need to play it. DJ Chark. They might as well just give him the 20-plus points now. That's how confident I am. And Will Fuller, too. Will Fuller will have a big game, too. So those are my 2 plays on each side. Obviously, on the Texans, though, I like David Johnson to have a big game, too. David Johnson is quietly having a good season. Everyone, made fun of that trade from Arizona. Like Arizona got over on them for getting DeAndre Hopkins, and they did. It was a terrible trade for the most part. But the Texans did need a running game. The Texans had no running game. Lamar Miller, always a letdown. I don't even know how he got to start as long as he did. Lamar Miller was just a letdown. He was supposed to be so good, and he never lived up to his potential. Never fucking fully lived up to what he was supposed to be. So Lamar Miller, thank God he's gone. But David Johnson is quietly having a good season. He's scoring good points each week. Look at, fantasy-wise, he's having a good season. I know he's not having DeAndre Hopkins' season, but what did you think was going to happen? I mean, it's Kyler Murray. They throw the ball 90% of the time, and DeAndre Hopkins is going to get open. Of course he's going to become a huge, great player in Arizona in that offense, that high-flying offense, I was going to say. So cheesy. But David Johnson hasn't been this, bust over here in Houston. So David Johnson, I think... will have a good game, and quietly also Duke Johnson, his backup, is starting to play well in Houston also. I wouldn't say get him in daily fantasy or anything, but in a PPR league, if you absolutely have no other options, Duke Johnson is getting we'll probably get 10 points out of him in PPR. But David Johnson, I like to have a pretty good game again, maybe high teens, 16, 18, 20, maybe 20 at the most-ish. But yeah, David Johnson, I think, has a good game, but it's Will Fuller in Houston, and really no other surprises I can think of in Houston. Pretty boring game here. Jacksonville, same thing. Not many surprises there. Not much I can think of. Laviska Shenault, their rookie there in PPR leagues, has been playing well. Had 86 yards and 6-7 catches. He gets 6-7 catches a week and 50 yards a week. So that little Laviska Shenault Jr. in a PPR league or in daily fantasy, if he's really cheap, you can pick him up. He'll probably get you 10 and 12 points easily. Maybe nothing too much more. Don't expect any a 20-point game here. But if he is cheap and daily, you can grab Laviska Shenault. He'll do something. And James Robinson, now he's not a surprise or anything. If you have him in season-long fantasy, you're playing him. And, if you can get him and he works in daily fantasy, yeah, get James Robinson. He's going to have a big game. So, I love James Robinson. I got him on 2 or 3 teams, and he's my fantasy breakout player of the year, probably. Next year, he's going to be drafted real early. He's here to stay. He's going to be the Jags running back for a while. I bet they sign him to a long-term deal. He's going to be around to stay. So, yeah, James Robinson and DJ Chark. DJ Chark goes off. Get him in daily fantasy. Get DJ Chark for the Jags, and get Will Fuller and David Johnson. Not a bust. That's all. But, so that's all that can be said here. I think this comes down to a field goal for either team. Either team squeaks by in a close game pretty highly, but bet the under. It'll be kind of, I don't know, maybe 24 points to 28, and that's still on the under. But I think one team wins by 4 points, and I think it might be the Jaguars. Or either way, if it's Texans, they win by 3 or so, Jaguars still cover. So I think Jaguars either outright win or at least cover the spread. Bet the Jaguars to cover the spread and possibly beat the Texans here. I like Minshew Magic this week. I like the Jaguars for some reason, because the Texans, I don't like Bill O'Brien. I don't even know, did they fire him? I don't know. I just don't like the Texans, and it's sad. It's a travesty. It's wrong to Deshaun Watson, but hey, what can you do? So yeah, bet the Jaguars confidently to cover the spread and win, probably. All right, next game up, we got the Panthers at the Falcons, and the Falcons are favored by 1.5, and it's 53.5 over under. I would say go over that, but it'll be, but no, definitely go over, because you know the Falcons are going to score a ton of points, and the Panthers are getting better. That's why I find this line crazy. I know it's basically a pick 'em, 1.5. The Falcons are favored by, which is nothing. You know, that's stupid they even do that, because you're either going to win or lose by 3 most of the time. So you know the Falcons, it's close, but I'm surprised the Falcons. I've given up on them. I liked the Falcons before the year. I thought they might be the surprise coming out of the South, even though all the teams are good. The Buccaneers, the Saints, but I thought maybe the Falcons might be a surprise. You might get 2 teams in, the Buccaneers and the Falcons, instead of Buccaneers Saints. But it looks like the Falcons disappointed me again and have let like 3 games in a row go, and it's ugly there, and their coach should be fired. The Falcons have too much talent in Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley on their team, and it's crazy. Matt Ryan's an all right good enough. You know, he brought him to a Super Bowl and almost won it if he wasn't playing the Patriots. So yeah, the Falcons even favored here because basically you saw Teddy Bridgewater's. Everyone should have seen Teddy Bridgewater's 21-yard run into the end zone for a touchdown. Well, if you're in the end zone, obviously it's a touchdown. But yeah, Teddy Bridgewater is, like everyone, I think, collectively said, okay, his leg is fully good now. He is fully good, because that run looks amazing. And the Panthers are better than I thought, and everyone thought. I think everyone thought their season was over when Christian McCaffrey went out for a month or more. But they've won the last 2 games, and they look really good doing it. And I like Mike Davis a lot. Mike Davis had 2 big weeks replacing McCaffrey, and I like that to continue, especially against the Falcons defense, who can't stop anyone if they wanted to. They can't stop me at running back. So, don't laugh, Mike. But yeah, so, you know, I like Mike Davis to have another big game for the Panthers. I like Teddy Bridgewater to throw it around. I love Robbie Anderson there. He'll have another 100 yards, whether he scores or not. DJ Moore will have a big game, because the Falcons, their corners are definitely not going to stop anyone. So expect this to be that high-scoring game, because Teddy Bridgewater is back, baby. Like, this is going to be a well-contested game. And, man, it's tough for me to say that the Panthers are going to win this. Like, I deep down think they might win this. The Panthers might win this, but I'm going to go out on a limb here. Don't disappoint me, Falcons. Like, you should win this game. I think Calvin Ridley's back. Julio's back. They should both be playing. They played last week. I'm going to say the Falcons here. It scares me to do it. I'm scared. I know. But I'm going to pick the Falcons here, and that is not a confident pick. But I'm going to say the Falcons, because they have too much talent to lose this. Like, come on, guys. You have Todd Gurley, who's playing all right. I wouldn't start him in daily or anything. I liked Brian Hill a lot last week. Still like Brian Hill as their backup a lot. But on the Falcons, I mean, I don't think I'm starting anyone really besides, Julio or Calvin Ridley. If I have them in season long, obviously you're starting them, and Todd Gurley if you have them in season long probably, or Hill. But they go back and forth on them a lot, so I don't trust the running. I just trust Matt Ryan to air the ball out to win, because their defense isn't going to stop the Panthers, so they're going to have to throw to win. So Julio, but Calvin Ridley, Julio seems to be disappointing me, and Calvin Ridley's just going crazy. So, yeah, definitely Calvin Ridley, if you can get him in daily. I believe in Calvin Ridley to have another big game. So, yeah, the Falcons, I'm going to say they win here, because the Panthers, as much as I love Teddy Bridgewater, he's fully back, he's healthy. And, I think I love Mike Davis and Robbie Anderson. Robbie Anderson would be my value pick. Obviously you're starting DJ Moore. I am, so tear it up, DJ Moore, in season long and everything. But in daily fantasy, Robbie Anderson's a good pick. He's been putting up solid points, almost 100 yards every week with a bunch of receptions. I mean, definitely look at Robbie Anderson as a value play at wide receiver if you can. That I like Robbie Anderson there as the number 2 receiver in Carolina. So if you haven't, he's not on the Jets. And Robbie Anderson's tearing up Carolina every week. He's got a lot of good amount, 7-8 receptions and 90 yards or something. So he'll get you some points whether he scores or not. I like Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore, because the Panthers are going to throw to keep up. I think it'll be a high-paced, high-scoring game, and Teddy Bridgewater's going to have to air that thing out, and he does it, and he doesn't throw picks. So, look for the Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, and Mike Davis. All they have big games, but I don't know why I'm going to pick the Falcons here to not completely go off the rails and ruin their season and go 0-5. Like, that's all. I hope they don't go 0-5. This is more of just a hope pick, because the Falcons aren't that bad. I don't think they're not like Jets level bad, or they're not supposed to be 0-5. They're not supposed to be this bad. So I'm like, this is more me hoping that the Falcons don't freaking lose and go 0-5. If they do, fire that head coach, please. But yeah, this is a hope pick, and because the Panthers, I think, are overachieving just a little bit by winning the 2 games without McCaffrey, I think maybe the Falcons get this in a divisional matchup. Both teams will be hyped. I'm kind of hoping, it's a scared pick, but I'm just hoping on paper, if the on-paper results, the Falcons should win on paper. So I'm going to go with that, and that I liked the Falcons before the year. I don't want them to go 0-5. So I'm very scaredly, tentatively picking the Falcons here to win this game, cover the 1.5 spread. So I'm going to say pick the Falcons, but I don't know, man. I love Teddy Bridgewater. Loved him before the injury. Love that he's fully back. Love to see that run. And he's hitting those receivers, not throwing picks. He's hitting Robbie Anderson all day. He's hitting DJ Moore. And Mike Davis is a stud. Mike Davis is going to get a lot of money after the season for what he's done in McCaffrey's absence. So, I like all of them. I like all of them. I like Davis to have another big game, but it's just, I don't know. I don't think Teddy Bridgewater should. I don't know if he'll have enough. I just like the Falcons. Okay, that's it. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to pick the Falcons. I'm not going to be scared or tense. Falcons are going to win and beat the Panthers in the 1.5 point spread. Falcons are going to win. That's it. They're not going 0-5. You're not going 0-5. You're better than this, Falcons. You're better than this. This is your pep talk. You're better than 0-5. You're not the Jets. You're better than this. Falcons win. Falcons beat the Panthers, and the Panthers come back to earth here for a week. But keep it going, Teddy, though. Keep it going, Teddy. All right, next game, we got the Cincinnati Bengals at the Baltimore Ravens. The over-under is 51, which, bet the over. It's Lamar Jackson. And the Ravens are favored by 13 against the Bengals here. Yeah, that's a big spread for how good Joe Burrow played last week and how good he looks. I'm going to go here. The Ravens will win this game. They will win the game, but the Bengals will cover that spread. I think the Bengals maybe lose by 10, 11 points, so maybe even 7. If they play tremendous, it could be just a 3-point win. But I think the Bengals put up a fight here because Joe Burrow is starting to play so well. If you've watched it, I love Joe Burrow. I think he was a great pick for the Bengals. I think he's going to be a great quarterback for years to come. Better than Carson Palmer was for the Bengals. Definitely better than Andy Dalton. Joe Burrow is going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback. He just looks that way. You can just tell how quickly he understands an NFL offense. He had a little bit of growing pains the first game, but now he's settling in. He's looking better every week, improving every week. I think he has another good week here. I think the Bengals cover this spread, so I would happily and safely bet the Bengals to cover the spread here. They'll still lose the game. I think about 11 points. The 10-11 the Ravens will win by. Maybe just 7. But so I think they won't win by 2 touchdowns against the Bengals. It seems like it, but that'd be the Joe Burrow-less Bengals. The Bengals with Joe Burrow right now are getting better each week, and they're an all-right team. I mean, they're an all-right team. If Joe Mixon will ever start to do anything at running back, they'd be a great team maybe. But Joe Mixon's having a just all-right, blah, meh year so far. So maybe if he starts to break out, they could start to win some games, actually. But yeah, so I think the Bengals are a little better than people give them credit for. I love T. Higgins here. He scored again last week, I think. Or no, he just had a good amount of yards. If you're not hearing about the T. Higgins train here, jump on board. Come on the bandwagon with me, the T. Higgins bandwagon. And yes, it's T-E-E, like a golf tee, I guess. Look up T. Higgins. For the Bengals, that's my sleeper and value pick of the week. If you load up on other positions and you need a cheap wide receiver, look at T. Higgins, because, I mean, A.J. Green isn't doing a ton. He's not the old A.J. Green. It's like he's still kind of injured or wants to go to another team or something. He's doing all right. And, they have Tyler Boyd, and Tyler Boyd's tearing it up for the Bengals, but Joe Burrow's throwing the ball. He's throwing the hell out of the ball. If you're not paying attention, Joe Burrow is throwing. This offense throws. That's why Mixon isn't doing a ton, and Giovanni Bernard gets all the passing action. But, yeah, Joe Burrow's going to throw the ball, so there's enough to carry two receivers. So after Tyler Boyd, it's not A.J. Green. It seems to be T. Higgins. So go pick up T. Higgins, and you will not be disappointed. He's a tall guy. They look for him in the red zone all the time. They're looking for T. Higgins. He's scored, he scored like in back-to-back weeks. I don't think he scored last week, but he had a bunch of yards. So definitely, if you want a nice value pick at wide receiver, go with T. Higgins for the Cincinnati Bengals. I think he has another big game here because they're going to be throwing the ball. They're going to be playing catch-up. A lot of garbage time. A lot of throwing the ball out of Joe Burrow here, and he's going to get it in those wide receivers' hands. He's a great quarterback. Give him a chance. Pick up Tyler Boyd or Higgins. I think both of them have a big game here because they gotta throw the ball. They gotta play catch up. So Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins will have huge games for the Bengals. Maybe Mixon picks it up. Come on, Mixon, please. That's more of me hoping. I'm not even giving you a vote of confidence. I'm just asking you as your fantasy owner, please do something. But yeah, so wide receiver wise though, Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins for the Bengals will tear it up. And on the Ravens side, it will be usual suspects. I mean, Lamar Jackson, obviously, Hollywood Brown, Mark Andrews will probably have a big game too. Ingram's been playing well. Mark Ingram's probably fairly cheap at running back. He might score, and the Bengals can't stop the run. They're a little better at the pass, I think, now, but they probably won't be able to stop too much out of Lamar. So expect all the usual guys for the Ravens to score, and Lamar to have a big game, and the Ravens to win the game, win it pretty comfortably. But Joe Burrow will put some heat on in the end. Definitely in garbage time will score a touchdown, and he'll go under that spread. The Bengals will cover the spread. They'll only lose by 10 points, 7 maybe, 7, 11. 7 to 11 points they will lose by. So they'll cover the spread. Pick the Bengals here with confidence. The Bengals to cover the spread, but the Ravens will.